This is Kyle Brust and Nordman, KBN. Sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. On ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It is a great day to be alive on this, whatever day it is, Thursday. Woke up, it felt like Monday. I don't know if you felt like that. It felt like that for me.
You know what? I did wake up today, and it did feel a little bit like a Monday, but I knew when I came into work, I only got 2 more days. So I'm thirsty.
You're all
today.
smiley right now.
I am smiley. It's 2025.
I thought you loved what you do.
I do love what I do, but what I found out over this last holiday season, I took some days off. Boy, I can't wait to retirement. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know what Homer doing. I don't know why he bringing his ass in for a show, but I'm telling y'all this right now. I'm sitting around the house doing what I want to do, moving around. I tuned in to KBN. I liked I liked it. Gave, always like and share. And then I commented, and I said, close it up and do what I want to do. Like, this is great. I can't wait to retire.
What are you shooting for?
Oh, I'm retiring about 55.
And do you have a plan?
Oh, yeah. I got a plan. I'm going to hustle.
I'll take the over.
You'll take
wow.
I can retire by 55, but if I don't, it's by choice.
800-990-3776. Is retirement boring or fun? Kyle Wallace wants to know. If you were retired, please let us know.
Oh, you guys are lucky. I know you worked your behinds off to get to it, but boy, you're lucky. I have no idea how lucky you are to wake up and do what you want.
You talking to the retired people right now?
Yeah, they earned it, but dang, man, I loved it.
If you're on the verge of retirement, please let us know if you're looking forward to it or if you're going to be like Homer and work forever.
Yeah, I don't know what Homer's doing. I have no idea why Homer's listening to other people.
Well, you did a show with him last week, and he was happy as can be.
He was happy as it could be. He said he was here for a reason because he wanted to entertain the masses.
And that's what we're going to do. With no Brad Nortman, it's Kyle Brust and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin, 800-990-3776. That is the carbless talk and text line. Less is more. Oh, yeah. Got to give him a shout-out. The new partner across ESPN Wisconsin for the talk and text line, 800-990-3776. Less is more. You can get us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Strovster on the show. No Brad Nortman. And Kyle, I know how you feel about this, but I wonder if others feel the same way. I plan, I don't see the reason to take down lights and the Christmas tree. All of January, I am all in on keeping Christmas stuff up. What is there to do in January? Why would I just take out all of the, it's kind of nice when I'm sitting on my couch watching football that there's an extra light there in the tree that I'm looking at. It just brings more pizzazz to the room. I don't know if people have hard deadlines. What is the deadline? First year as a homeowner in Christmas, because I moved in January, right before the baby. You are a homeowner-ish.
Yeah. Homeowner in April. I became moved in with baby.
So we don't know what the norms of the neighborhoods are. Are you supposed to scrap it, or do you keep it up? I plan on keeping it up.
Yeah, I know where your stomping grounds are, and keeping it up may get you talked about by the Nick and Nancy. So you might have to be prepared for them to talk about that house that decide they're going to keep up their lights and have their tree still open at the window, in front of the window.
Did you say the Naked Nancy's?
Nick and Nancy's.
Nick and Nancy.
Oh.
You never heard of that?
I haven't heard of it, but I kind of went along with it.
Oh, okay.
Context clues.
I thought he said naked.
Those who live in the
Chef
North
Ed
Shore
is retired and he got bored, so he went back to work part-time.
Good for you, Chef Ed, but you had a choice. But overall, I'm telling you this right now, Ben, people are going to judge, and I'm in the same situation. I moved to a little different neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and I'm trying to understand where the norms are. I really don't talk to my neighbors, but I also do care about, being normal, and I also care about not being too judged. And so when I looked at my beautiful lights and my beautiful tree that my beautiful girl put up, I'm like, man, it's New Year's Day, and my lights came on last night. I said, ooh, are people going to be judging me right now? Are people?
Who cares?
I kind of do. I already kind of insecure because I had to use some tape to make my lights stay up because I didn't have a tall enough ladder to be able to get up to really put the lights up high. So I was already insecure about the fact that my lights on one side of my house had a little droop. It drooped down a little bit. It had a droop, went up, then drooped again. And so I was already a little nervous and self-conscious about that. And I just don't want to be the new neighbors that move in and are just lazy.
Okay. Now, this is a good point by John is all I'm going to read from his name on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, had to take advantage of the last 40-degree day, already in the attic. It's going to be really, really cold coming up, Kyle.
See, I thought about it.
And I don't see your ass out there in the cold taking down lights.
No, I do not plan on taking them down. So that's why I was considering, like, what am I going to do? I don't understand what the norms are. And so I honestly think, and knowing my baby girl, I know she likes to keep the tree up. She used to keep the tree up through the whole month of January. But I'm like, I don't know if we can do this. So I think I'm going to try to commit myself, Ben, is I'm going to see what other people in the neighborhood do. So I'm going to kind of look. See Friday if anybody got their lights up or lights down. See Saturday lights up and lights down. If by Sunday people still have their lights up and they're not down yet, I'm going to rock it out. I'm going to rock it out just like everybody else in the neighborhood because they set the tone and standard for what we're going to do. So I'm basically going to see what everybody else does. And if they say I can keep them up or based off what their actions are, you know what? Actions speak louder than words.
All right, so we could definitely go down this road, but I am already fascinated by all of the things I'm seeing within the first 5 minutes of the show on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Loving Football chimes in like he always does. Sorry I'm late. I was busy not being happy for Rashawn Gary, who has made the Pro Bowl. Again, Pro Bowl criteria is very interesting in how you make it. He made it. Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney. Shout out to Rashawn Gary and his 6.5 sacks, $250,000 in his pocket. Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean, that was the most unearned $250,000.
Banger.
His agents must have.
He's closer to retirement now.
He 100% is closer to retirement. He didn't earn it, but hey, people voted for him.
Mike G chimes in, and I don't know. Maybe it's catching on. I'll keep screaming it to the high heavens. And we obviously on Monday, Kyle, when we were all in together, Matt LaFleur took the brunt of the blame for what had happened in the Packers-Vikings game.
Deservingly so.
Mike G, serious question. When do Packer fans start thinking the head coach is the problem? I love Matt LaFleur, but let's take our fandom glasses off. And I like that he said that because you live with fandom glasses on. And seriously look at it. He's had multiple playoff appearances, etc. And again, I just think it's really interesting to continue to bring up because when I say and ask you guys all these questions about what is his signature win, everyone says last year against the Cowboys as a 7 seed.
Yeah.
And for the guy who's been there as long as he has, I think it's a good thing to continue to really have glasses and do the eye test and continue to look at this team and what they do moving forward in the playoffs this year. Because, again, I'm questioning it. I am.
But we're questioning.
The tantrum man, the challenge man, the timeout man.
I get it.
He's a great head coach. His regular season speaks for itself. But what is that win that puts him over to put him in the good conversations of great coaches?
Unfortunately for him is that he walked into a situation where Aaron Rodgers was his quarterback, and so having that marquee win, having that win that everybody points to and says, yeah, Matt LaFleur can win the big game, he hasn't had the opportunity to do that because expectations for him were already so high when he came in as a first-year head coach. And so unfortunately for him, based off the cards he were dealt, and he was dealt some great cards, and a lot of coaches wish they had Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback for them being their first ever time as a head coach. But based off that, he doesn't have any signature wins because he hasn't had many moments to have signature wins. As a Green Bay Packer fan and as a coach of a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, your signature wins come when you make it to a Super Bowl. He has not made it to the Super Bowl. He hasn't won an NFC Championship game. So unfortunately, he has 0 signature wins. But I don't think that's all on him because some of the bar is lower for other teams.
Yeah, I get it, but the bar is higher at 1265. The bar is higher as I see this comment and say, the fandom glasses. The fandom glasses, the green and gold goggles, exist for a reason. Because in the green and gold world, Kyle, the expectation, fair or unfair, is Super Bowl.
Oh, I know.
You live that.
That's exactly, and that's why he doesn't have that signature victory. And that's why last year when we laugh at the 7 seed beating the 2 seed in the Dallas Cowboys, but that's a big deal being the first ever 7 seed to beat the 2 seed, but that's last year, right? We've moved on because our expectations are we can't live in what happened last year. We have to live in the present on what we're going to be able to do in the future as an organization for the Green Bay Packers, and that's based off winning championships. And he has a chance now in the playoffs because the Packers are going to make the playoffs, and he absolutely has a chance to have his signature moment. This will be a time where if you make it to the NFC Championship game or you go to the Super Bowl, you have a signature victory.
Oh, I mean, there'll be plenty.
Yeah,
as a 7 seed against what is a likely Eagles, Vikings, Lions.
Hopefully a 6 seed. Cowboys fans.
Go boys.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush.
Lead
Let's
them
do
boys.
it. My point here is the way it is aligning right now is if he were to make it to the NFC Championship game in just with the 2 games that he has to go through, like this conversation's out the window. Like,
nah,
I am. I'm
it's out
okay.
No, it's out the window for a moment, Ben, because what's going to happen is they're going to talk about
The expectations move up.
The expectations continue to move here in Green Bay. Remember, we fired Mike McCarthy. He had a bad season. We fired Mike McCarthy because the offense got stagnant. It wasn't creative, and we moved on from him. And he was a guy that brought us to a Super Bowl and won us a Super Bowl title, and we fired him. We did not allow him to have times where he can have down years. We said, this isn't good enough, and we moved on from him. When I look at Matt LaFleur, I don't think you move on from Matt LaFleur anytime soon. I understand sometimes you move on and maybe that next coach can come in and pop, boom, you pop. But guess what? I learned from our mistakes and I learned from the past. And as a Wisconsin Badger fan, I know it's 2 different things. I got a bad taste in my mouth because we moved on from our tradition of hiring guys
No
in
one's
Wisconsin.
saying to move on.
No. But that's where the conversation is leading to. If you don't have signature, listen, Ben, if you don't have signature victories, you're not going to a Super Bowl. You keep falling short. You know what the conversation's going to be? He can't get over the hump, and we got to bring somebody else in. Matt LaFleur is not this season, but next year. If the Packers,
you
underachieve
also have to
again
look at
next
yourself and say, all right, if we get rid of this guy, how many other teams will be like thanking the Green Bay Packers for getting rid of this guy? And there's always a replacement, but replacements are always something that there's an uncertainty.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers have done an excellent job hiring coaches my entire life.
All
That's
right.
exactly what they've done very well.
Mike chimes
Coaches
in,
and
LaFleur
quarterbacks.
needs to harden up. Then we got Aaron Fredonia. I still believe LaFleur folds under pressure. So what? He beat Dallas. There was zero pressure and expectations for the Packers to win that game.
Told you.
And that is the thing, though, is when the expectations are there, that's when it hasn't happened. Keith in Broadhead. Keith, what's up?
You know, I'm a big fan of Matt LaFleur, okay? I was also a big fan of Mike McCarthy. I can't believe you guys are even having a conversation about whether he should continue if he doesn't win Super Bowl this year. I mean, yeah, he walked into having Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, but don't forget, in 2017, that was a 7-9 team. 2018, they were 6-9-1. And he comes in and goes 13-3 the first 2 years, and he gets, 4 or 5 votes for Coach of the Year? It was ridiculous. How do you take a 6-9-1 team to 13-3?
Aaron Rodgers expectations. That plays into the argument. Even the whole NFL looks at it the same
thing
way.
that Keith is saying, I'm not disagreeing with Keith. I'm not saying the answer is to move on from him.
No,
the question that was posed is when do we have to start looking at the head coach is the reason why they aren't getting further.
When you look at the head coach for the reason why, you're evaluating the head coach and you're evaluating who's the problem, right? And that's when you think about, well, do we need to replace the person in charge? And so that's why that conversation, this is not the year for it. Next year will be a big year because everybody will have the expectation that the Green Bay Packers are going to be a Super Bowl contender, like a bold Super Bowl contender. They're going to bring back Jordan Love for a 3rd season. They're going to have a lot of young guys on the offense still who are coming of age. On the defense, your 2nd year with Jeff Hafley as your defensive coordinator. They're going to bring some people in that's going to boost this roster as well. So this year he's okay. But if the Green Bay Packers find themselves in a similar scenario where they are 0-5 against the teams that are ahead of them and they don't show that they can be a real Super Bowl contender or play up to better competition and beat better competition, the conversation will be whether or not Matt LaFleur will still have a job going into 2026. I'm a Matt LaFleur fan. I'm cheering for Matt LaFleur. I like the consistency that he brings. I think he's going to break through. Him and Jordan Love are going to win a Super Bowl.
This year?
No, not this year. Not this year.
So next year's a huge year for you.
Yeah.
2025 is a big year for Kyle Wallace, and I truly mean that because I feel as if your 2nd year of Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur as a pairing, you've kind of been in the feel it out phase. How is this going to all work together? And when it's year 3 of head coach and quarterback with the talent that we believe Love has, there's no excuses anymore. It's hey, go get it. Other teams are ascending right now. The Vikings and the Lions are ahead of you. We need to take this back, and we need to go further and not take a step back because right now, it's not looking like, if we're honest with ourselves, it's not looking like the Packers are even going to win a game in the playoffs. Like that's the honest truth.
No,
can they?
It's
Yes, they can. But it's stacked against them right now. And one big reason to that, according to Kyle Wallace, is Jair Alexander, who may not play another snap this season for the Green Bay Packers. So I want to get to Jair next. Congrats to Rashawn Gary on that $250,000 undeserved Pro Bowl.
He should donate that money to a more deserving cause. I'm dead serious. He should say thank y'all so much. Take $50,000, the rest donate to great organizations or Kyle Wallace Foundation as well.
Or Kyle Wallace Foundation.
I'll create a foundation now. Fight the streets. I don't know. Fight loser somewhere.
800-990-3776, the Carbless Talking text line. We're taking your calls. We're taking your texts. Jair Alexander might be out for the season. He is maybe going to make it back for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because of Jair being gone.
Oh, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
According to Kyle Wallace next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
Women ask you, do you love me? Why do you love me?
Wait, why am I always the one doing that? Tell me why you love me, baby. I need you to make me feel better.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The selections for the 2025 Pro Bowl games have been announced, and 3 Packers have made the cut. Running back Josh Jacobs joins the Eagles' Saquon Barkley and the Lions' Jahmyr Gibbs as a running back selection for the NFC. And on defense, Xavier McKinney is the NFC's free safety, while defensive end Rashawn Gary makes the cut, joined by Nick Bosa of the 49ers and Micah Parsons of the Cowboys. This is the 3rd time Josh Jacobs has been selected to the Pro Bowl, while it is the first selection for both McKinney and Rashawn Gary. The Pro Bowl games begin January 30th in Orlando. I'm Alex Stroh.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Ben Brust here for Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Been enjoying my great SUV, making sure that my baby daughter stays safe. And whatever your new car or used car that you've been imagining, they can make it work with all their inventory at ZimbrickEuropean.com. They have Audi, they have Mercedes, they have Porsche, and Sprinter vans. Don't forget those certified pre-owns. They can make whatever you're looking for affordable for you. Stop on by AP, Patrick, and the whole team will take care of you. For whatever the weather brings you, there's a car waiting for you at Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than fourth-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Sunset helps me realize this is just a journey. Drop your worries. You are gonna turn out fine. Oh, you turn out fine.
Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, no Brad Nortman. Alex Strofe running the show. UKBN Nation at 800-990-3776. And I see that the emotions are still high on Matt LaFleur after the loss to the Vikings on Sunday. New Year's Eve did not get rid of that. It's a new year, same problems.
Yeah, unfortunately for Matt LaFleur, my anger for Matt LaFleur has died down. I don't know, 2025, I let that all go in 2024. But, he's still on my radar about somebody who could potentially have a finger pointed at him after the season, depending on how the season ends. But at this point, Matt LaFleur, he has enough cachet built up with me where I'm going to let it slide.
As he should. I just think it's an interesting conversation as it was brought up, like, when do we start looking at Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, on Monday you were doing a little mouse voice, and now today you see.
Well, yeah, he coached like he is a mouse.
Yeah, you're not. You're
referee.
You just love doing it, don't you?
It's kind of fun.
I guess so.
And then people start calling him Matty Mouse and Stuart Little on the text line, the carbless text line.
I wonder if he actually
Bonafide scrub. He can't play.
Oh wow! I wonder if he caught wind of that.
Rashawn Gary.
Banger.
What?
Banger.
That's not
Rashawn Gary's a banger?
Pro Bowler, bro.
Nah, that's
How many Pro Bowls you got?
That's true.
I got a Lithuanian 3-point All-Star appearance.
Did you even win?
That was such an absurd poll.
Oh, there was a check. There was a check on the line. I screwed it.
Well, I'm just amazed that you didn't say, "Yeah, I played in the Final Four, man." He goes, "Yeah."
I was going professional. Like I didn't make it to the All-Star game, but I made it to the 3-point contest.
I have an Sistianos.
You didn't even make it to the Lithuanian All-Star game?
No, there's some ballers, G. I was a rookie. I was a rook. Them old gray-haired guys were balling.
Could you have played a second year?
Yeah. I just didn't want to go back there or the other options that I was looking at.
So
now I'm here with you right now, Alex Strofe, and we're not going through Ben Bruss options to weigh out. Becoming relevant with Alex Strofe. There was, like, Germany. and
Deutschland. That could be fun.
Yeah, I was like, so why are we doing this? I have a good topic here about Jair Alexander. But real quickly, the way I tried to play this, and I had a good season, but not good enough to do this. My goal was after my first year professionally in Lithuania to build enough clout as a player to make it to the Australian League.
Oh.
Because in Australia, when you are playing basketball, it's summer there. So I would have had summers in Australia while I was playing basketball, and when I come home, I'd come home in the summer. Because I had 50-degree, 40-degree days, darkness all the time. The sun went down at 2 p.m. It's all the way up north. Like I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Your boy Cac Penny didn't help you out?
I should have. I ran into him. He's like, should have reached out to me. I could have helped you.
Oh, wow.
Rich Pecker and Spread Eagle chimes in. This loss is not on Love, not LaFleur. This loss is on Love, not LaFleur. Matt can only do so much.
Yeah.
It's not Matt's fault that he only had 64 yards in 3 quarters, says Rich.
We have to look at it. I'm not going to blame Jordan Love. He has to take some blame. But when you remember in that game, every time he dropped back, he was under duress. He was under pressure. They sent, I think me and Brad talked about it like 26 times.
Yes, I understand this. The offensive line didn't do great. But what was the step back for me is, Strofe, I remember you were at Brad Nortman's house last year around this same time. And what did Jordan Love do to Brian Flores' blitzes?
Smoked them.
Cooked them.
He carved it. But
cooked them.
Bo Melton
Receivers
game.
got separations.
The Bo Melton game.
Agree, sure. Like we can put all that.
What do you mean agree?
But like
sure.
all,
What do you mean? If you
he
can't-
was also throwing absolute dimes.
But guys were open.
You're paying him to throw dimes,
Yeah,
Kyle.
you're paying him to throw dimes.
And
so
as
guys have to be
Jason
open.
Wilde joined us on Monday, and I guess I'm fired up still about this Vikings game. Because you know what? It's embarrassing that they've lost 5 games to the best teams in the NFC.
I agree.
When all we were looking for is for them to give us some good reason to be confident heading into the new year. And now it's a Bears game that's kind of weird. And then you're going on the road for the rest of your life in the playoffs, no matter how far you make it. So now I'm thinking to myself, like, last year to this year, what's going on? And Jason Wilde was like, there was a little bit of separation. He took Jordan Love took some blame. He called out the wide receiver for separation, but at the same time, you're paying that man a lot of money to put the ball in the right spots on a consistent manner. And I think he was just a little bit off. He needs to be a little bit sharper. Everyone needs to be sharper, and that encapsulates this entire season and why we're all here pointing the finger at LaFleur, and someone points the finger at Love, and someone wants to point the finger at Goody, and how every one of his first-round draft picks has been boo-boo, I guess outside of the guy we're celebrating in jest of Rashawn Gary.
I cannot believe that's the case. But no, again, Jordan Love, he gets some of the blame, but I think when people go back and watch the film and based off what Jordan said and Matt said, guys have to be better at getting separation. When I look at the play calling from Matt LaFleur, when I look at the demeanor from Matt LaFleur as well, he just did not seem like somebody that was out there that was not allowing the moment to be bigger than what he could handle.
And right away,
I saw.
Again, I like I love getting a pulse of what people are feeling right now about these Green Bay Packers. Jeff in the 920. Packers cannot win a championship as long as Matty Mouse is the head coach and Goody sucks in the first-round draft. Pretty tough to win with those two clowns. Now, that's heavy.
Wow.
Now, that's heavy. But I want to know how people are feeling because we have gone a long season, and it's so frustrating because the last 10 games brought so much hope to this season. And then Jordan Love gets hurt, and then he comes back, and then we all tried to convince ourselves that he was playing to the level or close to the level that he was in the second half last year, basically after the Bears game, and he was playing better.
He was playing well.
But at no point has he played as well as he did the last 10 games. And I think that's hitting me right now. It's been an underwhelming Jordan Love season. It's been an underwhelming Packer season. The only way they can fix this is to go on a run. And I don't know if anyone could call right now and have a straight face and tell me that they believe they can go on a run. You don't believe they can go on a run? All the Packer backers that we know call in say, hey, it's over. And again, that could be reactionary from the game, but when we got Ricardo in Canada, Kyle Wallace's and Jair's out now, and you think Jair's God's gift to this team, and they need him to do everything.
No, I definitely do believe he's very talented. Really quickly, though, I don't like the guy taking a shot at our coach and our GM, calling him Krusty the Clown and Sideshow Bob. I don't appreciate that because those dudes have helped build a heck of a roster that right now has 11 victories this year and still has the youngest team in the NFL. But ultimately,
you start comparing my guys to Simpsons characters, that's across the line.
It is crossing the line. They're not clowns. They're not jokesters. But overall,
they're not jokesters.
Overall, looking at this football team, I had confidence. On Monday when we had a show, you had your Super Bowl ticket, right? You put $60 down to win $900 for the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and I bought that ticket from you for $15 because I believe that the Packers were missing a piece. I watched the Vikings game, and I just knew if they had Jair Alexander, there could be a different outcome in that game. So I put this all on the fact that a healthy Jair could help catapult this team into a Super Bowl. With Jair Alexander being out, I'm telling y'all this right now. All the hope that I had for this team to go to a Super Bowl went completely out the window. He is the second most important guy on this roster because when you look at who they pay rush-ins, they pay corners, and they pay quarterbacks.
You said Russians.
Rush ends, I guess. Yeah.
Defensive ends would have worked, but rush ends, I guess, works.
Yeah.
But you might want to split those words up and announce it a little louder.
But for real though, when I look at this, he is the second most important person on this roster for the Green Bay Packers because when you look at the route they may have to take, if you're talking about whether or not you have to play the Vikings or the Lions or the Eagles throughout the playoffs, all three of those football teams have stud
bona fide studs, not bona fide scrubs.
And how do you stop a bona fide stud wide receiver? You find a bona fide stud cornerback. And yes, Jair has injury issues and we're dealing with it right now, but he is a bona fide stud. When it's time to go and it's time to lock somebody up, he usually shines the brightest. And so overall, not having Jair Alexander, that's where I say this Super Bowl chances went completely out the window because we are not going to be able to make it through that gauntlet of offensive weapons that these teams have without having our number one guy in Jair Alexander. So that is the reason why I don't believe the Packers will win the Super Bowl, because Jair's not healthy.
So I've seen this a little bit. Cody chimes in, 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line. Lists is more. I just, I've seen it on YouTube. Now I'm seeing it via text, which I love. I like how LaFleur gets called soft by teddy bears. He's referring to the teddy bears as us. Anyone who calls him soft could not handle what he does. At no point have I or Kyle or Brad or anyone say we would do. I saw someone saying, Kyle, you'd make a bad head coach. You can't do what Matt LaFleur does on the. And I bet, you know what? I bet Kyle would admit, yeah, I can't do what he does. But we're not the ones who are being paid and employed by the Green Bay Packers to lead a franchise to a Super Bowl. Our job is to figure out if he is the guy that in big moments will be able to deliver.
Yeah,
and that's the conversation.
And that's what it is. When you choose a profession to go into, I couldn't be an engineer. I couldn't be a doctor, an engineer, structural engineer. The building would collapse. The doctor, your heart would stop messing with me. And as a head football coach, my team's probably going 0-16, 0-17. I understand that. But I didn't sign up for any of that. Matt LaFleur signed up because he's a hell of a football coach, and he has to deal with that pressure. Our expectations in Green Bay, when you have somebody as your head coach, you need to make sure that you're winning football games. Ray Rose didn't do it. He went 8-8. They got rid of him. Mike Sherman, he didn't do it. They got rid of him. Mike McCarthy, he didn't do it. They got rid of him. So at the end of the day, I don't care how much pressure it is. I don't care if I can't handle it. I ain't signed up for that. Matt LaFleur signed up for it, and he needs to be able to handle it a lot better and find a way to get us to the promised land, which is a Super Bowl title here in Green Bay.
Ricardo in Canada, you've had 3 days since we last talked to you when the world was falling. Did anything change in the new year?
Yeah, man, guys, it's a new year, okay? One thing, but you guys, everyone's just freaking out, okay? Listen, it was one loss. We lost to the Vikings. This team is always going to be offensively driven. Jair's out for the year. He's been out for 6 weeks. Let it go. If Jair played against Minnesota, guess what? We still only scored 25 points. He's not scoring touchdowns. It comes down to love and Matt LaFleur getting the offense on track. We play ahead. We will win. We get a roll. We'll be fine. Our defense is not the problem. Our problem is our offense stalls in big games. That's the hurdle. The defense will defense. Let them be. We need to get the 3 points, and we'll be fine. Guys, breathe. 2025. Let's do this.
I like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Ricardo. But again, like, this is week 18, and you're like, Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, like, they need to figure. We've seen enough of the season to know what the product has been, and to say that, oh, they're going to get up and be fine. They haven't.
No.
they haven't done it.
Even somebody like me that is so positive, glass half full when I think about my Green Bay Packers, I cannot spin it, flip it any way when a team is 0-5 against the top 3 teams in the NFC. And that's why I went from having confidence that this Green Bay Packer team was having momentum, and that they beat the Vikings, and I would feel more confident going into the playoffs because they competed against the Eagles. They competed against the Lions, and they beat the Vikings. But that is not the case. If you cannot beat the best, then I can't sit here and act like when you have to go through the best in the playoffs that you're actually going to have a chance to win that game.
Well, this conversation started by Kyle buying the Potawatomi Sportsbook Super Bowl ticket I had of the Green Bay Packers. And he was like, oh, when Jair comes back, it'll be great. Well, Jair's not coming back, and Kyle doesn't believe, but I bought out of my ticket, so maybe I made some money back on them not winning the Super Bowl, because even Kyle doesn't believe. But if you want to have a good time, enjoy the 2,000 square foot video wall, seating for over 200. The restaurant dubbed The Kitchen, which is awesome. The food is amazing. You have 20 reserved parking spaces. You can use your rewards cards when you place bets. Build those bets at paysbig.com/sportsbook. Bet above the rest, and check out Potawatomi Casino Hotel's Sportsbook. A little switcheroo on this Thursday. We're going to go over-under coming up next, so we need caller 15 and caller 18. Caller 15 and 18 to mix it up for Alex Strofe. Caller 15, you get to decide if you want to roll with Kyle and I based off the category and the over-under that Strofe has. Caller 18, you'll be stuck on the other side. The winner will win a $50 gift card. 800-990-3776. 800-990-3776. Hopefully the royal family of Franklin is ready for this 15-minute switch here, Strophy. So get those phone lines going. 800-990-3776. Over under. Next.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Buckman, KBN.
Kayla Williams sucks.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hunter Vaughn here. Coming up after the holidays, our coverage of high school basketball will be in full swing. From rivalries to the postseason, we'll have some of the best teams and the top players from around the area right here on ESPN Madison. Along with listening to every game on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand, you can subscribe to the ESPN Madison YouTube page and watch every game live.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the belt line at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Talk Badger sports year-round with the Jump Around podcast.
The one thing I learned from Coach Alvarez is the plan to win.
Tune in for the Top Badgers conversations every week, featuring special guests with Wisconsin players, coaches, and more.
In my mind, a lot of the alumni mind, kickoff starts now. Everything we do between now and August 30th, 2025, we're determined where we go as a program.
The Jump Around, brought to you by Steinhoffels. Streaming live every Thursday on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and available wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
Matt LaFleur, I would really love to see him level out and be more even-keeled. Every time the camera pans over, it looks like somebody stole his dog. I don't know what else to tell you.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Just like that, it is January. And if you're looking for the best rates of the year, that's what you can get with the Princeton Club. They want you to be a part of the community at the Princeton Club. With the 8 locations in Madison, the one in New Berlin, you can find your passion and find your better tomorrow. Free childcare with the membership. That is huge. Huge. No better time to start investing in your health than now. I've done personal training. They have something for everybody. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. You know what, Strofe? Just go right to it, buddy.
I tried to hit the button.
I know.
It
You looked
didn't
like you
work.
tried to,
Yeah,
and it was a whiff.
Let's try again.
Will the guys hit the over or will they disappoint? It's time for Over Under on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Over Under is brought to you by the Sleeper app. Download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD. That's BRAD. And you'll get $55 in free entries when you play $5. That's code BRAD.
Got that? BRAD on the Sleeper app.
Sleeper app. I gotta look into the Sleeper app. I love it.
There you go. All right, boys. Time for Over Under, the first of the new year. You excited?
Oh, we love Over Under.
I do too, man. And I have a good one today. Lower Over Under, though. But first, I tell you our contestants. Caller 15 was Justin in Illinois. Justin believes in you guys. He's on the over. Caller 18, Jason in Cottage Grove, assigned to the under. So, a couple of record-breaking things going on in the NFL right now. Can you think of any of them?
The rushing record.
Yeah, good job, Benny. Nice. I'm looking for the top 10 all-time single-season rushing yards leaders in NFL history. The over-under is 6.5. Who's going to be your final answer guy today? Just two of you today.
This is a Kyle thing.
Okay, yeah.
6.5 your over-under. You need
top 10 single-season rushing.
Yeah, so I just need the names of the 10 running backs that have the most yards in a single season in NFL history. Make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right, away we go in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so remember CJ2K?
We'll start with the top two.
Okay, top two is Eric Dickerson.
Final.
Yeah, he's number 1, 2,105 yards.
And then Saquon Barkley.
That's right, but that's not number 2. That's number 8. He has 2,005 yards as it stands right now. He's he's 100 on the dot away from the record, but will not play.
He's number 8 on the list?
He's number 8. That's
I believe Larry Johnson did it.
You got to say final.
Final answer.
Larry Johnson is not on the list.
How many do we got to get?
You got to get 7.
Oh, okay.
Start.
Priest Holmes, I believe, is on that list. Well, let me go. CJ Johnson? Yeah. CJ2K from the Tennessee Titans.
I know who you're
Chris
talking about.
Johnson.
Chris Johnson, yes. 2006, he has one more yard than Saquon Barkley in 2009.
I think, I'm shocked Larry Johnson went on that list. I think Priest Holmes. Oh, you know who else is on that list?
LT?
LT's probably on that list.
Jim Brown?
I don't know because it's so many yards. But you know who else is on that list?
2 minutes.
It's a lot of yards.
I'm doing bad with names right now. But he was the running
Spit
back.
it out.
Jamal Lewis from the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, is on that list.
Ben's staring at me looking for a cue.
Do I say final answer? Ben, do you trust me or no?
I mean, you're the final answer, guy.
Final answer?
Is that a question or a statement?
Statement.
Yeah, he's number 3, 2,066 yards, 2003.
How many do we have?
You have 4. You have Eric Dickerson, Jamal Lewis, Chris Johnson, and Saquon Barkley.
All right. You said LT.
5 guesses
LT,
left.
Priest Holmes, Jim Brown.
Let me just take a second.
What about
Barry Sanders?
What about AP?
Oh, yeah, Adrian Peterson. Yeah, Adrian Peterson and Barry Sanders. I think both of those guys are on the list.
Well, you're the final answer.
Barry Sanders' final answer.
Yeah, Barry Sanders is number 4 in 1997. He had 2,053 yards.
And I believe Adrian Peterson's on that list too. Final answer?
Yeah, he's number 2, 2,097 yards. Fell 8 yards short of the record in 2012.
Now it's Emmett.
So
1
2, 3,
You need
4,
2 more.
5,
One more.
6.
You need 1 more.
Emmett Smith, LT, Priest.
And we have 2
Holmes.
guesses.
You have 3 guesses left.
See, I'm trying to think. Oh,
Didn't we get one wrong?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, we did. I said Larry
Yeah,
Johnson.
you have 7 guesses. You have 3 left.
Oh, who's the running back for the Bills? Gorman or some Thomas. We said AP.
We got a couple guesses.
Yeah,
so
you got Dickerson, Peterson, Lewis, Sanders, Johnson,
30
Barkley.
seconds.
I feel like LaDainian Thomas is not going to be on the list, but
3 guesses.
I like
Get 'em off.
Priest.
Priest. Who was the dude who
Get one guess off of your favorite.
Priest Holmes' final answer.
Nope.
All right. Who was the running back for the Chiefs who couldn't speak very well?
Jamal Charles.
Did Jamal go for it?
Do it.
10.
Do it.
9.
Jamal Charles' final
8.
answer?
7.
One more guess.
6. 5. 4.
Emmitt Smith
3.
on that list. Oh, you know who I probably forgot?
Let's see.
Marcus Allen.
No, Marcus Allen is not on the list.
okay.
I think you're going to kick yourself a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Let's work from 10 up. So number 10 on this list was Earl Campbell back in 1980.
Good old Earl Campbell. His name went to my head, but it's so long ago.
He is the only running back in the top 10 that did not reach the 2,000-yard mark, finished with 1934 back in 1980. Number 9 was back in 1973. You thought of the right team, in Buffalo.
The Bills.
Oh, was O.J. Simpson for real on that list?
O.J. Simpson was for
Oj, the Oj Mania?
Yeah.
Juice.
Yeah, Juice was loose back in 1973, 2,003 yards.
Yeah, that's
Goodness.
really
And
stupid.
that's like 14
All right,
games.
these next two, I think, are where you're going to kick yourself.
Okay.
Now, very different times. Number 6 was back in 1998, but you will know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, it's about Marshall Faulk?
No.
Who?
Packers Super Bowl, played against him.
Oh, Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis.
I wouldn't have
TD.
Anything that has to do with him, I block it out of my mind because I hate the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, 2008. The other guy on this list is active. He is still playing. Number 5 back in 2020 at 2,027 yards.
Oh, is that Derrick Henry?
That is Derrick Henry.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, you missed Derrick Henry.
He's on your fantasy team.
Not this one.
Not this year.
Well, there you go, fellas.
And how many did we fall short?
You fell one short. You got 6 answers right.
Oh, really? One short?
Congrats to Jason in Cottage Grove.
I was confused when Ben said when you said final answer guy. I'm thinking like I'm just gonna give you the guys to say final answer, and so
we've been doing this game. Oh my god!
So that's why I wasn't saying final answer because I thought you said this is gonna be
communication.
Kyle's. I thought it was gonna be Kyle's because Kyle's gonna think of them and throw them to you.
Yeah, that's not how that works
not
at all.
typically how
So
it
when
works.
I said Larry Johnson final answer, you said final answer. I said final answer.
Larry Johnson.
But he had a lot of yards.
Number 11 on this list, oddly enough. Name was never brought up. Former Green Bay Packer, Amon Green.
Amon Green.
Oh, wow.
1,883 yards, tied with Barry Sanders' second best mark ever.
Ernie with a good point. How did they not get OJ? What a couple of tools.
You guys are tools. Accurate statement.
OJ.
Is Jason Wilde joining us next? What's the scoop?
Yes, Jason Wilde will be joining us next.
All right. Well, real quick, I got to tell you about Palermo's Pizza because it is the best frozen pizza in the world. And I mean that because as I went to a New Year's Eve wedding, we had somebody stay at our house. Guess what I left them behind? Palermo's Pizza, and got a text of the pizza in the oven. I got her husband on the Boss Hog from the Screaming Sicilian. The Urban Pie Pinza is one of my favorite right now. You have the tavern style. I love the tavern style because it like reminds you of going to a bar after games when you're a kid. And you just get that like bar style cracker crust. It's the best. Screaming Sicilian Pizza from Palermo's. Find it in your local grocer's freezer. Jason Wilde joins us next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
I'm going to quote the great Martin Luther King in this.
Wow.
I'm going to bring up MLK. You know what he said?
Oh, wow.
He said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And you know what matters to me? Booing Craig Counsell and booing the Chicago Cubs.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The selections for the 2025 Pro Bowl games have been announced, and 3 Packers have made the cut. Running back Josh Jacobs joins the Eagles' Saquon Barkley and the Lions' Jahmyr Gibbs as a running back selection for the NFC. And on defense, Xavier McKinney is the NFC's free safety, while defensive end Rashawn Gary makes the cut, joined by Nick Bosa of the 49ers and Micah Parsons of the Cowboys. This is the 3rd time Josh Jacobs has been selected to the Pro Bowl, while it is the first selection for both McKinney and Rashawn Gary. The Pro Bowl games begin January 30th in Orlando. I'm Alex Strofe.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison wants you to start the year behind the wheel of a brand new ride in our Road to the Motherlode giveaway. On Friday, January 31st, there are lots of opportunities for you to strike gold. 3 winners will be chosen every half hour from 6 p.m. until 9:30, with each taking home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500. Then at 10 o'clock, one grand prize winner will receive our largest single prize ever, a $50,000 vehicle certificate. And it's only at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm not leaving! I'm not leaving! The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle Bruston-Nortman.
Joining us on Kyle Bruston-Nortman with no Nortman, the Strophy running the show, is Jason Wilde. Jason, how are you?
Nortman on the Tauscher schedule.
Yeah,
NFL player stuff, man.
Yeah, they're used to just getting what they want, and yes, we have one of our own.
That's all right. I'm sure he's doing the Lord's work because he's such a good person.
Yeah, he typically is. He typically is. Now, Jason, one of the things I want to ask you is I was having a conversation with Alex Strofe about some things that were discussed in Weekly Wilde, in which you can view and watch that on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Now, you've been pretty spot on the success of the Packers thus far, saying that they would win more games than last year, but they may, because we don't know what's going to happen yet, not go as far in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If they don't go as far in the playoffs, can you still look at this season as a step forward?
Absolutely, you can. I mean, the playoffs are a totally different animal, right? I mean, the best team doesn't always win. The best team that day certainly does. Just ask the Oregon Ducks, who got run out of the Rose Bowl yesterday. I mean, look, the best team, you could argue, didn't win last year when the Packers beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys were unbeaten at home. They're playing great. They're putting up a ridiculous number of points. But the Packers were definitely better that day, and would last year have been any less of a meaningful step forward had they lost that game in a close finish? I don't think so. Just like this year, they won more games. They're barring a total collapse against one of the worst teams in the league. They're going to finish with 12 wins. That's a 3-win improvement. That's not easy to do. So that would be big. And it's just, the playoffs are matchups. The playoffs are seeding. Like, there can't be many times in NFL history where a 12-5 team has been a 6 seed. Obviously, the 7 seed's only been around for a couple of years now. But I think there's no doubt that this will still be a step forward. Will it be a giant leap forward, which they were probably hoping for? Probably not if they lose to Philly, and that's, the likely scenario. So, but I think they should feel like they took another step in their process. And, again, I thought that they were a year away going into the year. That could still be wrong. They could still go on a run. But the bottom line is that there has been progress, and I think they're setting up the table very nicely for next year when I think their window becomes even more open with a bunch of salary cap space and some opportunities with these young guys to add some more pieces.
Well, when you talk about that window, there's something that I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm in the boat of I'm a big.
Are you ever not concerned, Kyle?
When they're winning, yeah. When they're winning, if they they didn't go 0-5 against the top teams, I'd be sitting here happy-go-lucky all the time. But instead, we went 0-5 against the top 3 teams, so I'm a little concerned. And then the news about Jair comes out while I'm trying to celebrate the new year. Jason, do you think the Green Bay Packers are going to move on from Jair at the end of this year? Because that's the rumblings that I'm hearing, and I feel like it's foolish to move on from Jair Alexander at this moment because you know your team struggles against teams.
He's on the field as much as Tausch is on the show with Wildy.
But when he's on the field, he's the piece that can help you win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he's missed half the games, Kyle.
How do you replace him, Jason?
You're going to have
somebody who's on the field.
Okay.
Like they have been replacing him for 34 of the last 68 games. I mean, look, let me be very clear on this. I am not looking to run Jair Alexander out of town. I like him. We've got a great working relationship. He inspired one of the quotes that we put on our T-shirts for Sydney's basketball team that we do every year. He wears his T-shirt because he got one because he inspired he was just referencing to me a couple weeks ago that he was folding his laundry and he came across it. I said, well, you got to wear it again. You haven't worn it in a while. So I like him. I think he was definitely unhappy last year playing for Joe Barry, and he obviously had the injury issues last year. But I am not pro. I'm not standing outside 1265 Lombardi Avenue with a picket sign saying, down with Jair, get him out of here, which rhymes. So I'd be a good picket sign maker. But when you miss as much time as he has, one thing we know about Goody is that there are specific types of players that he doesn't want. Old players, one, and injury-prone players, another. And in the last 4 seasons, he missed 13 games with a shoulder injury in 21. He played 16 of the 17 games in 22 and was all-pro again. He missed 10 games last year, 9 with injury, 1 with suspension. And now he's going to miss 10 games again this year, plus whatever playoff games they've got left. Those are not the types of players that Goody wants on the roster, much less to be paying a pretty penny to them. So I'm not in any rush to get him out the door. But I think the reality is that they'll probably draft a corner high, and that's not always that. Sometimes you get that right, sometimes you get that wrong. They got it right with Jair. I would say they got it wrong with Eric Stokes, who's obviously dealt with a bunch of injuries of his own. I think they'll be moving on from him as well. Maybe they sign a free agent who is, one of those guys that was a non-first-round pick, who's elevated his game, who's kind of on the cusp of being a good player, like Xavier McKinney, like Zadarius Smith was years ago, and you get a guy that's on the upswing. You pay him really good money, but not exorbitant money, and then you draft a few guys. I mean, they got a guy in Carrington Valentine who was a 7th-round pick who's a damn good football player.
I agree.
Like, he started 14 games last year. Now that his health is better, he's been really good for them now that he's healthy this year. Like, if he keeps at the rate he's going, he could be one of those guys that joins the Adam Timmerman, Mark Tauscher, Donald Driver pantheon of great 7th-round picks. And don't forget, they drafted Kalen King in the 7th round, and he's basically taken a red shirt this year on the practice squad. But that was a guy that coming out of Penn State, or going into his final year at Penn State, people thought was a first-round pick. So if they were to end up starting, Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and a up-and-coming Kalen King next year, and then they draft a couple of guys,
You're not.
They could be okay.
No, Jason, come on now. You need to have some type of stud lockdown corner in order to win these Super Bowls. And the Packers, for me, they don't have that.
Who's the lockdown corner for the Chiefs this year? Didn't they trade away their?
I know last year they had a lockdown
Snead
corner
was the guy
with
last
Snead.
year.
I know
they
traded him.
They had a lot. Well, listen, the Chiefs are a different animal. They won Super Bowls, the Green Bay Packers, and what they have to go through to get to a Super Bowl. I saw enough in that Minnesota Vikings game to know that if we had to play the Vikings again in the playoffs without Jair Alexander, I don't believe that we are able to stop their wide receiver threats that they have with Addison and that they have with Jefferson. I just don't believe we can do it without.
You can say Smith and Brown. You can say Jamison Williams and St. Brown.
That's just how I feel.
They Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I mean, I don't disagree that right now today, without Jair, they're not good enough at corner. Like, I think Keyshawn Nixon has had a very good season. He's proven he can play inside and outside. I think Carrington Valentine is starting to look like the player that they believe he can become, but he missed a bunch of time with injuries, and it wasn't too long ago he was splitting time with Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes has not played poorly of late. He's had some pretty good moments, so you feel better about that. But again, I don't know if you want him playing 70 snaps against top-flight wide receivers. So
I just want to provide some context to you, Jason. What I think is going on in this back and forth that Kyle's having with you is he's written off this year, and he said that. He doesn't think they're going to win a Super Bowl and for whatever reasons. And so he's trying to now say, if Jair is not back, how the hell do we do it next year? Like, he's just like, I think he's in next year mode right now already.
He's protecting his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you guys. I know you guys got to go, but somebody needs to take away his fan card if he's going to be this way, because he sounds more like a reporter than a fan. I've never been more disappointed in him.
Jason, don't you throw that at me. Don't you throw that at me. I'm just being a
He's
real
been on
fan.
Sunday Karma with you, Jason, for those 30 minutes for his entire life, and so now he's turning into you.
I'm sorry. There's no one I less want you to turn into than me, except maybe Stroll.
Well, Jason, I appreciate that. And if I did turn into you,
we appreciate you making Kyle feel whatever he's feeling right now,
Come on,
Jason.
Kyle, be more like me.
We'll have to talk about that, because I don't know how you still feel excited about this football team going into the playoffs now that we lost.
Hey, last time I checked,
Jair.
The pulse is still going. We're not dead yet.
Jason, we appreciate the time.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. Listen to Jason on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon across these very stations.
Jason did that to me.
Farewell to 100.5 ESPN Madison. We're back with Beaver Dam in Milwaukee. Next, in 2 minutes, don't go anywhere. We have some awards to give away in honor of Rashawn Gary, who got the most deserving Pro Bowl award ever. Don't go anywhere.
Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your...
The world's best vodka tonic and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN. The Wisconsin On Demand app and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, no Brad Nortman. Strophy running the show. UKBN Nation, as always. At the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776. Less is more. We're on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison. And over to the KBN Sports Desks, Alex Stroh.
Guys, I just feel like we haven't given enough credit to the 3 Packers that were selected to the Pro Bowl today. You know, it's a big deal to be selected to the Pro Bowl. And
for Sean Gary's pocketbook.
For Goody to strike again like he did, right? Bringing in a free agent like Josh Jacobs, 3rd Pro Bowl. Bringing in a free agent like Xavier McKinney, 1st Pro Bowl. Bringing in a first-round